NBA, which is coming back, also has a lot of players sitting out. And some of those players are including Bradley Beal of the Washington Wizards, who, in my opinion, the Wizards have zero chance of making the playoffs now, as that team was entirely based around Bradley Beal doing well. And the Wizards no longer have Bradley Beal, and I can't see them making the playoffs. And I feel like the same goes with the Indiana Pacers because Victor Oladipo is sitting out. Do you think the Wizards have a chance of making the playoffs in this 8-game playing series?
I don't, but honestly, if we were really going to talk about it, do I really think they had a shot to make it with Bradley Beal? No. And I think Bradley Beal knows that. And he's going to Orlando to support the team. It's not like he's scared of the coronavirus or I mean everyone's a little scared of it, but it's not like he didn't want to go and that's why he's pulling out. He says he has a shoulder injury, which he could definitely have that, and he might have went for surgery recently and it didn't come out yet or something. But I think he kind of was like, you know what, we're not going to do anything with this season. I'm going to sit out. I'm not going to get injured or even more injured than I already am. So I feel like the Wizards kind of know they're not going, but they're just or not making it. They're just kind of going to see maybe if they could lose more games and help their draft stock. To be honest,
That is true. Yeah. Steph Alosha is not playing. He's sitting out. Um, Willie Cauley Stein is sitting out. Trevor Ariza, Davis Bertans, however I think that's how you say it. I think it's Bertans.
yeah, Bertans.
Look, yeah, Bertans and Bradley Beal sitting out for the Wizards is not the greatest look. So my guess is they are just tanking at this point because what does it matter? They just want a better draft stock,
Yep.
as you said. Avery Bradley is sitting out for the Lakers, and J.R. Smith is actually taking his place, which I think is comical because of the whole J.R. Smith, LeBron James fiasco that happened in Cleveland. That's just hysterical to me. Kyrie Irving's not playing because he's injured. DeAndre Jordan's not playing. Kevin Durant already said that he's not going to come back for this. So it seems like a lot of teams are just not caring. Spencer Dinwiddie's not playing for the Nets. Prince is not playing for the Nets. I feel like the Nets and the Wizards are kind of just saying, "Hey, let's try to get a draft stock. Let's try to get someone." Then they can use that for a trade, or if they want to really draft someone. I don't know, but yeah, there's a good list here. Justice Winslow is undecided for the Grizzlies at the moment.
The Nets are interesting though. I don't know if you saw this. I actually only heard on the radio this morning. The Nets and Spencer Dinwiddie and Torian Prince, I think that's how you say his first name. They both planned on playing, but they both tested positive for the coronavirus,
Yeah,
and
so they didn't want
because
to.
their league's not letting them play, so they have to sit out.
Yeah, so I thought the Nets were in a pretty good position. Like the Nets are in the playoffs. I'm almost positive they are. I think they're
Yeah,
like
they're one of the top 8 seeds
Yeah, I think they're
currently.
like six or five or
Yep.
6 or 7. I think.
Hmm.
Look, it's maybe they drop out because how many players do they have left? Yeah.
Yeah.
What we named 4 that aren't playing. KD obviously wasn't playing, so that's 5. They have what? 9 players left.
Yeah, they don't have many.
I feel like the NBA is having a lot more issues with than the MLS, but I feel like the NBA is more has more known issues than the MLS does, which is why it seems like the NBA is having these issues. Also, I feel like a lot of people don't know a lot of the big names in MLS, so if someone were to say this one person had it, they might not even know who that is, which is why this is a good reason for the MLS to grow because now you will know some more players on maybe your hometown team, or maybe you are just watching a game and you're like, oh, I kind of like this team because they're good, or you're a front runner, or you're just a terrible human being because you're a front runner. Um, maybe you just start to get to know these people or whatever, and these players, and then you start to invest in the MLS and watching them week in week out. But I feel their issues are not as known as the NBA's issues, or some other leagues' issues. For example, obviously the NFL is not playing. We haven't heard much about the NHL yet because I don't know if their agreement is completely signed. The MLB obviously has had some issues. I think I haven't heard much about MLB and coronavirus issues at the moment, other than the 1.2% that we talked about very briefly on the last podcast. The NBA just seems to be more known. Like their issues are way more known than any others. But again, that just could be because they're a more media based organization.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Like I said with Bradley Beal, I personally think he pulled out because he doesn't think the Wizards have a chance to even not even if they do make the playoffs. Maybe he thinks they do. I don't think he thinks they have a chance to go anywhere. Do you think a lot of the players that are pulling out are thinking that they don't have a chance to do anything? So why, if I have the option to pull out, why wouldn't I?
Um, I don't know. I feel in Bradley Beal's case, I feel that is a more prominent reason because let's be real, that entire team this year was a lot like heavily based on how well Bradley Beal did. If he did really well, I felt like the Wizards did really well. Don't get me wrong, he has some good pieces around them, like defensively, which is why they're able to win a lot of games to be in the position they are in. But Bradley Beal was a huge part of that. John Wall was injured all year. I feel when John Wall comes back, that team is going to be very good. And maybe that team drops. Maybe they lose all 8 games. Bertans isn't playing. John Wall obviously isn't playing. Bradley Beal's not playing. If they lose all 8 games, they are in the East. So there's only 9 teams in the East. So realistically, they can only drop to ninth.
That's where they
But
are
I
right
mean,
now.
is it?
Yeah, they're 9 right now.
Oh, so then I guess they kind of just stay where they are.
Hmm.
So it doesn't really matter. Then they just kind of keep their draft. So it doesn't really impact them at all. So maybe he's just worried. I don't know if he's going down with the team. He just doesn't want to play, or maybe I know he's very prominent in the Black Lives Matter movement. So maybe he's going to just be focusing on that instead of going down to Orlando, which is completely respectable.
Yeah.
I feel like he's not. It's not a big issue. A lot of players are sitting out because they don't want to deal with coronavirus, or they have other things that they want to worry about, or they're just worried about their family in general. But look, no one can be blamed for sitting out. This is obviously something that no one expected, something that kind of wasn't here and then was here. Like it was like here, it wasn't as big, and all of a sudden it just blew up, and everything kind of just started shutting down. Not as ideal as anyone would have liked. So it's fair for anyone to not want to play. I'm gonna be honest. I still think the Lakers are gonna win it all. I don't really see how they lose. I really don't. Maybe the Bucks. I don't think the Clippers are good enough to beat LeBron and AD. I think they're close. I don't think they're good enough to beat LeBron and AD. Maybe out of the East, I really just see it being the Bucks, but maybe a team like the Sixers. I don't really want to comment on the Celtics because I have no idea what's going on with Jason Tatum's hair. It's kind of throwing me off.
It's bad.
To be honest, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it.
I was gonna ask about the Celtics, but you know what? You brought up a fair point. I feel like that might hurt them.
But I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I hope that everything goes well and that there's no more issues for any sport. I hope that no one else comes down with the coronavirus, and I hope there's no other worries that they have to worry about.